And John DeBacker will
Em nghĩ
talk
em
about
xem một
triple
cái
accounting,
video ở trên YouTube với xong chụp
which
lại.
is on the one hand side a little bit of a projection into the future, but on the other side, as he told me, it has already some practical application. So we are excited and looking forward to your presentation.
Chị về chị xem
Thank you
online thì xem người ta
thank
thuyết
you
trình
all for
như
joining.
kiểu lấy từ vựng này.
Yeah, nice to see
Cái kết quả
people
của chị nó
are
xấu
interested.
quá rồi chẳng biết sao đây.
Yeah, I hope you're not in agony now because you just gone through the troubles of double accounting and now I come here explaining something like triple accounting. But be relaxed, it'll all be fine. Yeah, so I first maybe a bit about myself. Good. So my name is Ton de Bakker. I come originally from Belgium, the region of Antwerp, where BASF has a very big production site. So that's where I started back in 1991 in the betriebsafrekening, they called it at the time. So that's what you call today management accounting or business reporting. And yeah, quite from the beginning, I am an accountant, but I was always interested in these new kind of things. Apparently they also they started giving these kind of things, and to explain you where I come from, so I did the first month-end closing on paper without a computer, and I was one of the first users to test email for Windows at BASF in Antwerp. So I was basically the first one who sent them the results of the month-end closing via email to our colleagues in the headquarters in Ludwigshafen. It was a big thing at that time, before the assistant was doing the typing, and then it was sent on paper by DHL. So that's basically the time where I come from. If you see what technology can do now, it's really astonishing what has changed. And I think that's also important for you, what you learn now. Maybe very new, but yeah, it might be old-fashioned by the way you've reached somewhere at the age of that I have by now. Yeah, I've also been, as we have some IT people here also, so I relatively fast also went into SAP implementation, so I implemented SAP R3 for BASF in Antwerp, basically answering the question, how do I translate a logistic goods movement into financial relevant information? So building the interface between supply chain and the finance and accounting departments. From there on, I've also been 4 years at the headquarters in Ludwigshafen doing SAP projects. Then I went back to Antwerp, and then the shared service center here in Berlin was founded in 2005. And in 2009, I decided to come over to Berlin because I found it very interesting to have all these financial and HR activities, support for the sites in Europe, being transferred to Berlin. First, I came here for 2 or 3 years, and then I decided, yeah, Berlin, it's a nice city, it's an interesting environment to work. So I decided to stay, and so I'm now in the technology unit responsible for innovation, digitalization, and automation, all these kind of Asian things are my responsibilities. And yeah, one of my sentences that one of my first bosses in Antwerp had, and that really inspired me. The only thing that is permanent is change, so I think that's very important in life to have this. Do not stick to what you have, but be always open to new things coming. And that's basically also one of the mottos behind the presentation of today. Yeah, what am I going or trying to explain? First, if I say triple, there probably has to be something like double and something like single. So we go a bit through this history. To see where we come from, always important to see where do we come from, what's the problem, where do we go to. The limitations of the current accounting methods, and then seeing, okay, how could triple accounting be an answer to these problems that we have today. what are advantages, what are disadvantages, what will change, and then see also a bit in the technology, what is blockchain, what is a smart contract, and how can they help in solving the problems that we have. And as a final point, I've also want to share something about master data management. It's also one of my favorites, where also we can see how can new technologies help to create more efficiency and better auditability in the master data management. Yeah, maybe also if you have a question, just raise your hand, and then, or if you don't understand, if I'm talking too much Chinese, just don't be shy and raise your hand, and yeah, come back to me. So let's start with single entry accounting. So that's basically what organically existed already way 3,000, 4,000 years ago. People were doing transactions with each other, and they wanted to keep an overview of which transactions am I doing with whom. And they had kind of a journal entry where they said, okay, I owe this person so many money, I owe this person so many, I received that from this person. So they had a log journal voucher logging of all the transactions that they were making. And that works quite well. You also have it in your own environment. You can write down the cash transactions to keep a bit of an overview. But if companies are growing bigger, then this isn't sufficient anymore. And so then the method of double accounting has been initiated. Do you know who invented double accounting?
I suppose.
Yeah. It's basically in the Middle Ages, I think. It existed already, but the first one who published a book about double accounting, and is therefore known as a founder of double accounting. It was an Italian in 1494. Do you know his name? Because now,
yes. Luca Pacioli.
Luca Pacioli, yeah, that's the first person who published a book about double entry accounting. So this double entry accounting, so you keep track of your assets and your liabilities, and that's basically also the accounting system that we are using today. If you have €1,000 in cash, but you know you have to pay €1,000 tomorrow, basically you have no money, and that helps to keep this kind of overview. And of course in Italy, the banks, the economy was flourishing, and that's why they needed this kind of innovation to keep a better track and overview of their business. And that's still the basis of why we're doing accounting today. Then I make a 2.5, so 1, 2, 2.5 is then the whole internal accounting. That's basically what you're learning with Thomas Gruber here, I think, a lot. Yeah,
Hope so.
yeah. So companies grow bigger and bigger, and as you can imagine, at BASF, if we only had a balance sheet and an income statement, we would know what the end result is, but we wouldn't know where are we efficient, where are we not efficient, where are we making money, and where should we act and take measures in order to become more efficient. So there was a whole internal accounting in the our world. It's very strongly oriented on cost center accounting. The American people, English people are more oriented in the direction of profit center accounting. But basically the problem they solved, they didn't have an overview of their company anymore. So they started up dividing their company in small units to get a better overview and have a better steering of their company. This all works fine. Today, also with the IT possibilities, you can go do that very extensively. And certainly, I'm also a bit in S4HANA. There you see that the difference between internal accounting and external accounting is more and more diluting. Basically, in the past, internal accounting was more a statistic of the company, and in the external accounting, you were using the double entry accounting. You see also with S4HANA that in internal accounting, this whole double entry concept is also implemented. So you see that also in SAP, you will have in future one table where all these transactions are registered, whether they are internally or externally. So there we have quite a good accounting methods, and basically internally we're well organized. So now let's think a bit, what do you think would be the problem that is still existing, or which problem should Dribble Accounting then try to address? Anyone an idea?